Alrighty, good evening everybody. Welcome, glad to see everyone's here on this long weekend. Judging by how some of the wealth engineers are dressed, I think they took Monday off too. You can see me, no holiday today. Welcome to everyone who's tuned into the live stream. I think we might have quite a few people from East London tuning in this evening. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here this evening, permanently, not only this evening. And I'm going to go through the DuePoint opportunity with you. I'm going to take about 50 minutes. You guys are welcome to come speak to me afterwards if you have any questions, and I'll answer those questions. Let's begin. So DuePoint, you're at our head office at the moment. We're actually a division of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. So that's Constantia's logo over there. That's their building in the background. They're based in Randburg, just down the road from us. They are a registered insurer in South Africa. There's not many of those around. There's only about a dozen of them in South Africa. Constantia is one of them. They were founded in 1952, so Constantia is nearly 70 years old. Way older than I am, right? Been around for a very long time, stood the test of time, as they say. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. You'll notice in the foyer above the water cooler, we've got all our licenses on display, our FSP licenses. We've got a long and short-term insurance license. We've got an investment license, as well as our FSP license, as well as our accreditation at the DMA and the DSA, Direct Marketing Association and the Direct Selling Association of South Africa. So you guys are welcome to go take a look at those. For me, it's important that our guests here this evening start to form some trust in the business that they're potentially going to be looking at beginning a partnership with, right? That's a fairly important step, getting involved in any business opportunity. The individuals here at DuePoint, this is the executive and the management team here at DuePoint. The three characters on the left are all chartered accountants. You can see they're talking amongst themselves, ignoring the non-accountants over here, Jane and myself. The first person on the left is Brendan Benfield. He's our senior executive. He pretty much heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because he comes from a family that has been entrenched in insurance for the last 50 years. His father started Clientele Life and the IFA. His father's a professor of insurance that taught insurance at Wits for about 25 years. Brendan and his brother Stuart went on to follow in their father's footsteps, which I'm sure made their father very proud. And Brendan and Stuart formed Prime Meridian Direct, PMD, which is a very successful short-term insurer, which we see their advertising constantly. You see they've got a billboard right outside our offices, and they've got billboards all over Johannesburg, I'm sure probably all over South Africa, and they do advertising on TV constantly. So Brendan and Stuart and their father have been involved in insurance and are very reputable individuals in the insurance industry. Then we've got Tim, also very experienced in financial regulation. Tim was working at the First Rand Group beneath the CEO, and he reported directly to the board of executives there. So I always tease him. I say, why did he leave such an important, cushy job in corporate to come join us here in this company? But he did, and that's good for us. Stacey Paul, third accountant. She was working at Deloitte, so financial consultancy, both locally and abroad, and she came back to South Africa just before she joined us here at DuePoint over a year ago. And then the two non-accountants. We've got Jane over here, Jane Verity. She's the smile of DuePoint. She's on holiday at the moment, so our guests haven't met her yet. But if you come back to DuePoint, I'm sure you'll meet her, because she meets everyone who comes through reception. She wants to make sure she knows who everyone is. But she's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is fundamental to our business, because that's how we market our business. And then myself, I worked in marketing and advertising for pretty much my entire career. I started a digital agency which ran fairly successfully from the late 90s and is still running today. And we serviced a lot of the financial industry. We worked with a lot of the big banks, Investec, ABSA, Standard Bank, FNB, couple of people in the travel business, Tsogo Sun. We did a lot of marketing for overseas properties, and hundreds of clients that I dealt with purely from a digital marketing perspective. So this is the team. Brendan was instrumental in putting this team together and very successful. I call us the A team because there's no B team players here. Brendan approached all of us the first time, and all of us agreed to join his team. So there's no one that turned Brendan down or decided they didn't want to join the team. Our mandate here is to support our wealth engineers, our guests, right? We can only be successful as a business if our wealth engineers are successful. That's the only way we can be successful. Can't be successful any other way. And so we have a common interest, and our common interest is to see you guys being as effective as possible in this opportunity. Okay. So our guests here this evening, I'm assuming that you've been led to believe that this is a financial opportunity. How many guests do we have here this evening? Just put your hands up quickly. Don't be too shy. Great. So welcome to you guys. So right, that's the premise. You got told you want to make more money? Come check out this DuePoint opportunity. As blunt as that, right? And perhaps they didn't tell you much more. That's my job. I'll tell you everything that you need to know about this business. But we look at pretty much two factors that have kind of created an environment for entrepreneurship to thrive, right? And those are typically negative aspects. The one is the economy, and the other one is debt. If we didn't have a poor economy and horrible debt in our lives, we probably wouldn't be sitting here this evening. But unfortunately, those are the realities of being in this country. And it's not only South Africa. I mean, we're in South Africa, but, you know, economic issues and debt is pretty much a global phenomenon that most countries have to deal with. But particularly in South Africa, we see it playing out in a whole lot of ways. So the economy is not great at the moment. 2016, our growth was sitting at 0.3%, which is pretty much zero, which means there was absolutely no growth happening in South Africa. There were no extra jobs being formed when we're so desperate to see our economy grow so that we can create more jobs. Unfortunately, about half our workforce is sitting unemployed at the moment. And this kind of plays out in things like company restructuring and retrenchment, right? So we probably all know someone who's been retrenched. We might have been retrenched ourselves. I know tons of friends that have been retrenched, from young people that have just entered the job market. My wife's cousin, she got retrenched recently. She's a civil engineer. She did really well at school. She was one of those nerds at school, went on, did well at university, got a job quickly like that, and lost the job fairly quickly, only after a couple of years. And then I have another friend who was a senior manager at a very large pharmaceutical company. In his 50s, got retrenched too, right? So it affects everybody. My wife is a labor litigator for Anglo American. And you'll notice that Anglo American also been going through a lot of trouble, right? The mines under a lot of duress. And we see a lot of restructuring and retrenchments happening in the mining industry. And we often assume that it's the person earning the least in businesses that get retrenched. But it's everybody that gets retrenched. Everyone. My wife's had to retrench colleagues at work, at head office that work with her. Talking about doctors, geologists, accountants, lawyers, people with professional degrees. Some of them have got even 2 or 3 degrees, working for one of the biggest, multinational, oldest mining companies in the world. And they also find themselves in a position when they're in their 40s and 50s also being retrenched. So what you have to realize is that no one in this room is safe from retrenchment. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care which company you work for. I don't care how many degrees you have. If you think you are safe from retrenchment in this economy, you're dreaming, right? So that's the one aspect, the economy. The other aspect is debt. I tease my audience often because I tell everyone that they love debt so much because they keep asking for more. Right? I would imagine almost every working South African has got debt in their lives. Whether it's in the form of credit cards, so you'll see the little credit card icon pop up now. Whether you've bought a car and financed the car for 5 or 6 or 7 years, whether you've decided to buy a house, you can typically finance that over 20 years. Then there's still credit cards, home loans, personal loans, educational loans. Maybe you owe Edgar's money, right, for clothes you bought 2 years ago. Some people even got Woolworths cards and they're paying off food they ate months ago that they're still trying to pay off today. Out of everyone that has debt in South Africa, we're told that 50% of them are under debt review. Half the population that is under debt review. That means they are unable to pay for the debt that they have. That's a frightening situation. I understand it might become accepted in South Africa to have debt and not pay it back. We saw it in December. Typically when everyone's squeezed, right? You want to go away on holiday, you want to buy the kids presents, whatever your excuse is. We saw how many people, even in our business and generally in insurance businesses, how many people just don't have money in their accounts in December. And those debit orders bounce. I'm talking thousands, a very large percentage. And it's not a great position to be in, because having debt in an economy like we have has long-term effects. And it often goes unnoticed by South Africans. Those long-term effects are the effect that it has on your retirement. Because if you are in your 20s, you need to be thinking 40 years down the line. Who plans 40 years down the line with regards to finances? I didn't. Or even when you're in your 30s, you still have to plan 30 years down the line for your retirement. And South Africans don't do it. We see all the statistics that we get from the FSB. Do you know when South Africans start saving for retirement? In their 50s. 50s. That's 10 years that you have to now suddenly make a plan for your retirement. So here's some data that will tell you what you need to do with regards to saving responsibly towards your retirement. So when you retire, that's when your boss stops paying you a salary. And you need to be self-sufficient, right? So either you've got to go find another job, or if you've saved responsibly, you'll be in the position where your investment will pay you out money every month, right? So if you think you can live on 5,000 Rand a month, once you're retired, you will have to have had R1 million saved in an investment. 1 million Rand. Anyone saving towards R1 million at the moment? No one? Well, you better get used to the idea of living on less than 5,000 Rand a month once you're retired. Do you know how many South Africans get to retirement financially independent? 2%. That's no one in this room. No one in this room. You? There's one. Right? Is R1 million enough to live on? Can you live on 5,000 Rand a month? Groceries are doubling in price every 7 years. Fuel inflation is also about the same. Inflation is sitting at 7% at the moment. The economy is growing at 0%. For you just to keep up, for your salary to keep up with inflation at the moment, you need to be getting an 8-9% increase in your salary every year. Are you getting that? Majority of people aren't. I had lunch with a lady that worked for me for about 5 years. She's working for a very large company down the road here, just up the road, at Nickelway. She hasn't received a raise in 4 years. 4 years. That means her salary, in effect, has been decreasing by 11% a year in value. Right? That's what we forget. And that problem starts exacerbating itself year after year after year. And you get retrenched in that time. You can't find a job for 3 months. You now have to take money out of your savings for 3 months or a year. However long it takes you to find work in a job market where only 50% of the job market is employed. So let's look at something a little more dignified. 26,000 Rand a month. You want to save 26,000 Rand a month? If you're in your 20s, you've got time. You've got 40 years. Start saving 4,000 Rand a month for the next 40 years, and you'll be in a position where your investment will be worth 5 million Rand, and the interest on that will pay you out 26,000 Rand a month for the next 30 years. This is what retirement planning looks like. If you phone a financial advisor, this is what they're going to show you. They're going to say, how much money do you want when you retire? When are you going to retire? 60, 65, 70, 80? We laugh. 98% of us are forced to carry on working when we get to retirement. So don't laugh. We're all going to be in that position. All of us. Right? Because that's where 98% of us are headed. The fortunate few that are in their 20s sitting in this audience, you've got time. I didn't do it when I was younger, when I was 20. Last thing I was thinking of is saving money for when I'm 60. But any investment started early enough has a much greater effect when you start it early, rather than waiting for your 50s before you start doing anything. Okay? So we saw this. We saw, as a business, we saw the opportunity to create a platform that allowed South Africans to empower themselves, to do something for yourself, right? Because you can see this problem coming your way, but your employer is not going to help you fix it. Is your employer going to help you? You go to your employer and say, listen, my retirement plan is not looking so good. Can I get a 30% raise? What's he going to tell you? Don't come to my office again. Right? How many of us get the promotion? 1% of us? 2%? You have to start taking control over your own future. No one else will do it for you. And if you don't do it today, 5 years will go past before you realize 5 years have gone past. Ask me, I'm 40. I got an invitation to my 20-year school reunion the other day. That depressed me for a week. I thought, what have I done in the last 20 years? How did 20 years go past so quickly? I've only got 20 years left to retirement now. Panic. Okay? So the opportunity was born. And this division created something called the DuePoint system. And this DuePoint system is something you have the opportunity to engage in, to start making change towards your future, to be accountable to yourself. And we've got 3 goals for our wealth engineers. Only 3. The first one is to see you become debt-free. Can you picture yourself debt-free? No debit orders going off your account. You own the house. You own the car. You don't have credit cards. You pay 1 year in advance for your kids' schooling. When your salary comes in, no debit orders go off. What are you going to do with all that money? Right? That's the first aspiration we have for our wealth engineers. We take that very seriously here at DuePoint. The second aspiration is to see you start creating value in an investment that grows every month. Something that you can look forward to in 5 years or 10 years or even 20 years. And then our third aspiration is to see everyone smile some more. Because when you got all that money that's not being debited at the end of the month, and you've got an investment that grows all the time, you will smile more at the end of the month, right? You're not going to be frowning. You're not going to be depressed. We just came through December and January. January is a horrible month, isn't it? Because you've spent all your money in December. Your boss has paid you early for January, which tricks you into thinking you've got more money in December, but you don't. And then come January, you're in a panic. And people are only starting to get out of that now. Now you're starting to get going again, right? And the cycle continues. The cycle continues because December's coming up soon again, and you're going to be doing the same thing. So that's our third aspiration. We want to see you connect with your dreams and aspirations again when you are liberated from a financial point of view. How does this all work? The DuePoint system, like I said, allows you to contract with us. And when you contract with DuePoint, we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we want you to do one thing, and that is to build channels of distribution. And I'll show you what those look like shortly. Into these channels of distribution, DuePoint will place products with the people you introduce us to through our online platform. And that's how this whole system works. Straightforward. The benefit to you is that you get to create an additional income stream. The system is not designed to replace your day job or your salary. It is designed to supplement it. You cannot pay your debt off any faster unless you have an additional income stream. Right? The nature of our business allows you to create recurring income. So the effort that you put in this business doesn't only pay you at the end of the first month, it pays you recurring income. So it'll pay you again at the end of the second month, and the third month, and the fourth month. And you can start building on that residual value to pay you more and more and more every month. This is the reason I left my business. the business that I ran for nearly 20 years, I couldn't create any residual value in the business because all we did was sell time. So I had to work for my money. And at the end of the month, I started at zero again. Then come April, I've got to do the same amount of work to bill the same amount of money, right? This is how lawyers work, designers, developers, plumbers, hairdressers. We're limited by how much time we have in the day. In this business, you're not limited by your time because you get to enhance the power of duplication, which is leverage. This is the way CEOs pay themselves such big salaries and such big bonuses because they're leveraging all the employees that work for them, right? In this business, these channels of distribution allow you to go out and build teams of people that you get to collaborate with, to work together. So if you only have 1 hour a day for this business, but you've got 10 wealth engineers working with you in your channel, each putting in 1 hour, that's now suddenly 11 hours you have every day being put into your business for your financial benefit. You're completely accountable to your own time. Now, this is one of the important things. This is a double-edged sword. This can be a good thing or a bad thing because we all want accountability over our own time, right? All love to be able to come and go as we please. But when you work, your boss wants you there by a certain time, and he'll let you go at a certain time. And if you come late, well, he might raise an eyebrow the first time. You come late again, you might get a written warning, and then another written warning, and another written warning, then a disciplinary process, and then you're fired. In this business, there are no written warnings. You're accountable to your own time. So what will end up happening is you'll either commit time to this business or you won't. The only person that gets affected by it is you, not me. If you join this business and don't do anything, I'm not going to phone you. You're accountable to your own time. So by the end of this presentation, you need to decide if you're interested in this business, what time are you committing to it? Because the business won't be successful otherwise. Too many people get excited, join, and then we don't see them again. Right? Like a New Year's resolution. We all laugh, we all had New Year's resolutions, and then you didn't get it right after the first week. Right? Human nature. We'll discuss that a little bit more. There's no startup capital. There's no registration fees for this business. There's no bulky product that you have to buy to get started in this business. It's a very low risk business opportunity. Okay? There's no qualifications or experience required. This is financial services. If you know anything about financial services, you'll know how difficult, how onerous it is to work in financial services because we are regulated by phase through the FSB. You don't have to worry about that. You get to build an asset. If you're going to commit and invest time into anything, surely you should have some form of ownership over it. We all nod, but we put 45 years into a company where we have no ownership over it. This you have ownership over. Legal tender. You can sell this. You can sell your channel of distribution. You can give it to your kids when you get too old to do this business, which is probably around 90, 95, when you can't talk properly anymore because you lost all your teeth. You can cede it to your beneficiaries if something happens to you. Okay, so you have legal ownership over the business. There's no selling involved at all. Aren't you glad about that? Our guests here, did you expect to have to sell something? No? There's no selling involved. We contract you out of selling. By law, you're not allowed to sell. We will do the selling. Right? The nature of our products are intangible financial products. They don't take up space. You don't have to buy more products when you start doing better and better in this business. Products don't expire. They don't start to smell when you leave them in your garage for too long. Okay. So we make this business as simple and as convenient as possible to get involved in. What are the channels of distribution that we expect you to go out and do? Begins with you. Our guests here this evening, You become a wealth engineer, that's you on your own. You've done nothing. But you go out and you tell some friends, acquaintances, strangers, colleagues, whoever. You tell them about the DuePoint opportunity, right? 98% of us are in the same boat. I promise you there's target market enough for everybody out there. And when you tell those people about DuePoint and they come to a presentation like this and we're able to place a product with them, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And guess what those friends that you invited to the business are going to do? They're going to go out and do the same thing. And so your business will have grown a little bit more. That's your one lazy friend that did nothing. The one that sat on the couch, rather. And after time, this is what your channel of distribution could look like. You're getting paid for every single dot that you see on the screen. And remember, not once off, you're getting paid every single month for it because it's recurring income. And next week, a couple more might have joined your business. How much effort did it take to introduce those first 5 people? This is power of duplication. This is leverage. And this is you collaborating with these people that you've brought into the business. And this is all you need to do. Channels of distribution. But if you think, well, I've got 2,000 friends on Facebook, or I know all these people at church, or I know those people, and I can get 1,000 people. Not 5, I'm going to bring 1,000 people, and I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of the year. It doesn't work like that. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. There are many get-rich-quick schemes floating around, right? All been exposed to them. I remember when I was younger, some pyramid scheme offer came across my table the one day. Put 5,000 Rand in this week, and you just have to find 2 people, and then I'll pay you 7,500 Rand next week. Easy money. Fortunately, I didn't get involved in it. But I see so many around. So many. People believing that they can get rich quickly, easily, just by putting money in, and they'll get money out. There's no such thing. No such thing. If anyone promises you that, they're lying to you. Triple M, right? Why would you not trust some funny Russian guy on YouTube that's been in prison for 10 years? Why wouldn't you trust him? He looks honest on the YouTube screen. Let me give him my money. He's going to make me rich. This is not one of these businesses. This is a very reputable insurance business that's been around for nearly 70 years. Got very reputable individuals involved in this business. We are listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange via Conduit Capital. But I hope that get-rich-quick scheme went through your minds long ago in the presentation, right? Because making money is difficult. So I'm not going to trick you into thinking you're going to be rich quickly in this business. If you've had the luxury of ever trying to start your own business, you will know that it is difficult. You've got to get through so much frustration, hurdles, issues. 95% of new businesses fail in the first year. So if you're going to get involved in this business, it starts with committing time to it. Getting through that frustration. And we've got a huge support system to support you in that role, to make you effective. But I don't want anyone thinking they're going to get rich in the next 6 months or a year. We are talking 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Can you even commit to that kind of timeline? Or does that frighten you? That's what you need in this business. How do we pay our wealth engineers? We pay them a return at the end of every month, depending on how many products they have in their channel. Okay? So we pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product in your channel. Every month, right? So remember the first 5 people you introduced to the business? They lie on your first point. On your first point, we pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So we're paying you 55 Rand for every product on your first point every month going forward. Point 2, again, we pay you double the 27.50 Rand. So you're getting 55 Rand for every product every month. To your third point, you see the multiplier drops back down to 100%, all the way down to your fourth point where the multiplier is now 4%. What's important to note is that we don't limit you on how large your channel can get at DuePoint. So from your 8th point into infinity, we will pay you the 4% of the 27 Rand 50. So it begs the question, how long will you remain committed in DuePoint? Because if you quit after 3 months, I promise you, you're not going to get anywhere near your 8th point. We don't limit you on how much you can earn at DuePoint. There's no limitation. So this is the mechanics of our returns, right? Fairly straightforward. We then get asked the question, well, how much do you think I can earn after 3 months, or 1 year, or 5 years? So the accountants that I introduced to you on slide 3, they built something called the path to success. This is based on a growth model. The growth model is called 3 plus 2. It assumes that in your first month you can bring in 3 wealth engineers into this business that take out a product, right? So in March, you bring in 3 people in March, and then the 2 represents every consecutive month. So next month you bring in 2. The month after that, just another 2. That's 1 every 2 weeks, and you just keep doing that. So we call this our 3 plus 2 growth model. You do that, you can expect to earn 2,500 Rand after 6 months. Is that enough for some of you, or too little for some of you? Too little. Let me give you some context, long-term context. The one thing that sits in our blind spot constantly, right? Here we have an example of someone with a 1 million Rand bond. A 1 million Rand bond means 1 million Rand debt. Okay? They've agreed to pay the bank back 11,000, 12,000 Rand a month for the next 20 years to pay their house off, right? That's how the bond works. They've joined DuePoint. 6 months later, they're earning 2,500 Rand. Instead of spending the 2,500 Rand on nice shoes, fancy lunches, maybe a handbag, you put the money into your debt. Remember our first aspiration. Get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. You put 2,500 Rand into your 1 million Rand debt. Your term on the bond will drop from 20 years to 11.5 years. You've nearly halved the amount of time that it takes you to pay back the bank on that 20-year bond. Do you know how much money you've just saved yourself in repayments? 1 million Rand. You've saved yourself 1 million Rand in repayments on a 1 million Rand house. And the bank is still making money out of you. Right? This is what we forget. This is what compound interest does to you from a debt point of view. You want to know why the average South African only starts saving in their 50s? Because they've only finished paying their bond off in their 50s. Because they took all 20 years to pay the bond off. They've only got the kids out the house and perhaps through high school and university. And for the first time in your life, when you're 50, do you actually have money left over at the end of the month? And in a panic, you start saving for retirement. Far too late. Far too late. But this is what we all do. Have you ever heard of someone taking out a bond that's less than 20 years? Everyone takes a 20-year bond. Everyone goes to find the house that's the biggest and most expensive based on the salary that they earn. Everyone looks for the nicest car they can get on the salary that they earn. Right? It is crippling for your future. After 12 months, you could be on nearly 10,000 Rand a month. That's 100,000 Rand, in excess of 100,000 Rand annually. Anyone get a 100,000 Rand bonus this year from the employer? Not. Sure. Need to work harder. After 24 months, you could be on 30,000 Rand a month. Right? Remember, this is 3 plus 2. It requires consistency. After 36 months, you're nearly 50,000 Rand a month. That's 3 years away. You want to look at another example of debt? There's an example of a 5 million Rand bond. You take the 37,000 Rand that you're earning after month 30 and you put it into your bond, you will pay that 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. In less than 7 years. So if you're 40, like me, when I'm starting to panic a little bit because I only have 20 years left to retirement, if I get to this position and I'm able to pay this house off in less than 7 years, In 21 years, I can do it 3 times. Now I've got 15 million rands worth of property assets that I own. I can live in the one house, I can rent the other 2 out. What's that, 50, 60, 70,000 rand in passive income in the form of rent? Or I could sell all 3 and buy myself a 15 million rand house cash. But that's 21 years away. That requires a decision now for 21 years' time. That requires 21 years of consistency, persistency to get there. You keep going, after 48 months, you're nearly 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, close to 100,000 rand a month. You're on about 1 million rand annually. But this is based on the 3+2 growth model, right? It's just an example. You can join this evening and do nothing. Sit and watch Generations every evening. Do nothing on the weekend. Relax because you're so tired from your week at work. Then you're going to be the 0+0 growth model. And you'll earn how much at the end of the month? 0. But you can do more than 3+2. Why not put all your time into DuePoint? If it's something that you own, if it's something that builds every month. So we've got wealth engineers that are doing more than 3+2. Sean. He joined in October. That was 6 months ago, almost. By January, he was earning nearly 2,500 rand. Right? Middle of October. That's 2.5 months that he got to that point. The very next month, he nearly doubled his income. Anyone want to try go to their boss's office on Wednesday and ask them for a double salary? We all laugh, right? Because that's pretty much impossible. Sean doubled his income at DuePoint in 1 month, in 30 days. He didn't have to put in twice as much work. He just put in the same amount of work, but because he's building residual value, it adds to the value of his business. He's not selling time. He's building a business. That's how much, those are the amount of debit orders that we're going to be raising in Sean's business in March. And March is not finished yet. That figure has gone up. Calls for sacrifice. Sean was having car trouble. He had to decide, am I going to take public transport every evening after work? He works in Alberton, and he lives in Alberton. So now he's got to catch public transport after work to Bryanston and then back after the presentation, which he does. Almost every single evening Sean is here. Gets home at nearly midnight. That's the sacrifice he's willing to give. Do you think he's happy? He is. He's proud of what he's done. But he had to make the decision in October to go, am I going to do this? I'm going to get home at midnight every night in the week. Do I really want to do this? It was his decision. His boss didn't tell him he should do it. I'm sure his wife didn't tell him he should do it. He had to make the decision for himself. This is what accountability is. Right? Here's Regina in KZN. A very heartwarming testimony. So last week, we played a video of Regina. We interviewed her when we were in Durban earlier in the month. Go watch the video. It's on our YouTube channel. Everyone in her family had lost their jobs. No income coming into the house. 0. There were kids that she had to put through school. And surprise, surprise, someone told her about DuePoint on the 20th of October. She signed up. She said she put 4 people into her channel. And when she looked again, there were 400. Look at her earnings. 3,500 rand after 2.5 months already. And it doubled in a single month. And doubled again. Accountability lies with these guys. These are not special individuals. They are not leaders in their community. They aren't hypnotherapists. They don't have degrees in human behavior or social sciences. They're just normal people. They've just committed time and effort to this platform that we've given them. The platform is equal for everybody. They don't get special treatment. These guys are in Durban, right? You'd think that you've got a little more edge if you're here in Joburg, right at the head office. Here's Rulof. He joined the day we launched this business. And he told his wife, let's not do anything. Because these guys at DuePoint, they can talk the talk. Let's wait and see what they do. And then they realized after about 6 or 7 months that we weren't only talking the talk, we were walking the walk, right? We were fulfilling the promises that we gave people. I promise you, we've invested more in this business than any wealth engineer will ever come close to. We've got a lot more to lose than the average wealth engineer. And Rulof eventually saw that his channel was growing without his effort, strangely enough. He was fortunate to have a few people that he brought into the business that were doing a lot of work, and he only started getting involved around October. 20,000 Rand a month as a flexi-time job. You can do more than 3 plus 2, guys. Depends on what time you want to commit to this business. And we've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every month. We sent out a mailer today. 50%, our business has grown 50% in the last 30 days. How many businesses in South Africa can claim that, even in a year? We are paying 50% more wealth engineers this month than we were last month. Paying them. You're either in or you're out. So that is the returns. Over and above the returns, we have the XP Rewards program. This is an incentive program. This is just some fun along the way, right? Because we're paying our wealth engineers at the end of every month. Those are what we call returns. This is rewards along the way. So when you engage in typical wealth engineer behavior, we will award you with XP, experience points. They have no monetary value. It's just a number that we give you when you sign into the website. When you come to an intro presentation, we give you 250 XP. You bring a guest, I'll give you 100 XP. Right? You start collecting all this XP, and your business starts to grow. You rank up in the XP Rewards program. So our guests, if you become wealth engineers this evening, you will be a rank 0 wealth engineer. But very quickly, after 24 hours, you can get to rank 1. Right? You only need 1,000 XP, and you need 4 products in your qualified channel, and you become rank 1. So when you have 4 products in your qualified channel, we're paying you 220 Rand as a return, right? 55 Rand times 4. But in the XP Rewards program, you've now ranked up to rank 1, and we'll give you a 55 Rand bonus on top of the 220. And then when your channel gets to 20 products, and you've got 2,000 XP, then you'll be ranked 2. And then we'll give you 100 Rand, 400 Rand, 1,500 Rand, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. Wealth engineers getting 20,000 Rand this month. 2 wealth engineers got 20,000 Rand in December. Got another wealth engineer that's about to get 50,000 Rand. Right? They've ranked up that quickly in the XP Rewards program. We give away tools that make it more effective for you in building your channel. Fancy little memory stick, plugs into anything. Phones, tablets, laptops, computers, doesn't matter. Android, iPhone, iPads, doesn't matter. It plugs into everything. We've got all our video collateral on that little stick. Videos that tell you what the business is, how the remuneration works, the training, testimonials, the intro presentation, special interviews, all sits on there. So Patrick and Pumi can show their business to anybody at any time. They plug it in, show people what they want to see, right? It helps them build their channels more effectively. Here's Donnie with his premium business cards. We spend 12,500 Rand getting these business cards manufactured because people haven't heard of DuePoint. But if you put a 12,500 Rand business card in someone's hand, they will take a little more notice when you start talking about DuePoint. Okay? Rank 9, the one everyone gets excited about. Why? Because this is a recurring reward. When you get to rank 9, we take you on this international conference every single year. Business class flights for you and your family to a 5-star luxury resort 7 days, all expenses trip every single year. You want to see where we're going? We've already got 2 wealth engineers that are qualified for this already. Right? This is happening at the end of the year. Take a look at where we're going.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
I'm sure you're tired of me telling you that this business takes effort. Right? Everyone gets excited about rank 9. You got to get to rank 1 first. People forget that. We see it all the time. I've given maybe 250 presentations. You think I haven't seen it? I see the people arrive. I see them get excited. And then I don't see them again. That's odd, don't you think? Human nature. Short-term excitement. Because we overestimate what we can do in the short term. We do. We get excited. We think, I can do it. We see it in New Year's resolutions. It plays out in our lives every single year. Short-term excitement, short-term expectations, instead of long-term commitment. We underestimate how much we can do in the long term. If we just commit to something and stick to it. Ask me. 20 years have gone past. Say to me, do you want to relive the last 20 years? Sure, I'll do things differently. Start saving sooner. Rank 11. We buy a car cash when you get to rank 11 and we give you the car. No T's and C's. You get to rank 11, the car is yours. You don't drive it for a limited amount of time, it is yours. No DuePoint stickers on it. Choose the car you want. Look now. This is only rank 11. We go up to rank 20 in this program. We had another incentive, short-term limited incentive, which started in October. The deadline is the end of this month. So the writing's pretty much on the wall for the wealth engineers that are going for this. And again, this incentive is for your whole family. Business class trips down to Franschhoek. We're staying in a 5-star boutique hotel. All expenses, Easter weekend away. Wining and dining, Michelin star restaurants. Probably the most expensive weekend to go away on, right? Easter. Flights are crazy. We're going to have 4 or 5 families going away with us this Easter. We have a wealth quest. This is a challenge which we issue to our wealth engineers every single month. There's a new wealth quest. Last week, 8 wealth engineers rewarded themselves with brand new iPhone 5Ss in their hands. This month's wealth quest, you get 20 wealth points Buyers Club members put into your first and second point in your channel before the end of March, and we will give you a code to the entertainer, which is 1.2 million rands worth of buy one, get one free vouchers to restaurants, hotels around the world, that type of thing, spas for the ladies. Plus, we'll give you 100 gigs of data. All right, it's very much a data-driven business. So on the 1st of April, you'll see the new Wealth Quest appear. 1 every month, 12 a year. We're going to ask the question, it seems like we're spending too much money on our wealth engineers. I hope your maths is right. Do not worry, we've got actuaries that work in this business. I'm not left up to the mathematics in the business model, but this briefly explains it. So traditional businesses will engage in marketing and advertising to get their product to market, right? We all accept this. Insurance companies in particular spend a fortune on marketing and advertising, like Prime Meridian down the road. You will not see a DuePoint logo outside of this business, outside of this office, because we don't do any marketing or advertising. We rely on our wealth engineers, you guys, by word of mouth to tell people about DuePoint. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry spends on marketing and advertising every month, that portion of the premium gets allocated to returns and rewards for our wealth engineers. Okay, so that briefly explains the business model. We have 3 products. You can take out one product or all 3. They all have financial benefit. Okay, different benefit. The first product is an investment product. It is called Access Wealth. It is 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund that sits with Sanlam, right? It's not a notice deposit. It's not a fixed deposit. You can draw your money out of that investment within 72 hours. On top of the investment, we give you a little bit of insurance. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if something happens to you, you get hit by a car, killed in a car accident, whatever accident you die by, we will pay out your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand over and above what you have in your investment. Okay, so this is the investment product. The second product is an insurance product. It is strictly an insurance product. It's called Wealth Guard, 274 Rand a month. But this time you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of our personal accident cover is that it caters to anyone over the age of 18. So you can be 90 years old and you can still take out this product. The premium will stay 274 and the cover remains at 1.1 million Rand. Okay? The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club product. This product allows you to save money on what you're spending every month. So if you become a Buyers Club member, it's 274. You retain 100 Rand every month in the form of wealth points, which gets deposited into the wealth points program, and you get access to those list of suppliers there. Those are our partners. We've gone to those suppliers and negotiated discounts with them on behalf of our wealth engineers. So if you're on this program, you get to enjoy discounts from all those suppliers. We've just signed on Ford. There's Eagle Ford there. We've sold 2 cars already through this program this month, which is great. ShopRite Checkers, we're all spending a fortune on groceries every month. You get a discount on your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers every time you buy them. Right? So we've got different discounts for every partner. You can go to our website. It'll tell you about all the discounts and how each one works. But this program gives you immediate benefit. If you want immediate benefit, financial benefit out of any of the products, this is the product to have. Okay? So the products are very straightforward. If you have any questions on them, come speak to me afterwards. I remind you of the support that you get here at DuePoint. Do not become a wealth engineer and disappear. We want to see you successful. It's in our interest as a business to see you guys effective and successful. So everything that we do here is for that purpose. You can give your presentations in this room. Free to use. The boardrooms, have your meetings in our boardrooms. You can use the breakout rooms. You can use all our free Wi-Fi. You can download your apps and do whatever you want on our Wi-Fi. Free tea and coffee. You can drink all the free tea and coffee. But come and get engaged in this business, right? There is a learning curve required. We're going to become family. We want to see you. The executives don't hide in their offices. We very much become part of the wealth engineers' lives to see you guys as successful as possible. You can set up meetings with Brennan and myself. We will sit down with your team and strategize your success in this business, if that's what it takes. So get connected. The decision slide. We're at the end, folks. What is the decision? People think it's about weighing up the benefits. It's not about weighing up the benefits. For the people that don't think the benefits speak to them, that's fine. You can go look for another business opportunity. For the people that think the benefits speak to them, that the system looks like it works because we've got so many wealth engineers making it work already, and you want to get involved, the decision is, what are you going to sacrifice to fit this business into your week? Because if you can't make that decision, you're wasting your time. Anyone can join. It takes 7 minutes to join this business. You become a wealth engineer. But that's the easy part. The hard part is committing your free time to this business to make it work. That is the decision I want you to make this evening. Think about your week. We're all squeezed for time. I'm squeezed for time. If you say to me, I want to bring something extra into your week, I'm going to say, I don't have time for anything extra. But for you guys, you need to make that time to make this business work. And we're here to support you in that. Like I said, we make joining very easy. Jump onto our Wi-Fi. If you've got your own smartphone or tablet with you, get onto the website. Click on the big blue apply button. You become a wealth engineer in 7 minutes. You can go look for those first 5 individuals tonight if you still want to. Even that one who doesn't do anything, he can also join DuePoint. You can start investing your time into something that starts adding value to your future tonight. We've got a YouTube channel. All our videos on the YouTube channel. You want to know anything in detail about this business? It is on the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. It'll notify you whenever we're about to do a live stream. We live stream constantly out to the world whenever we do intro presentations, training, interviews, testimonies. It gets broadcast everywhere and saved onto our YouTube channel. We've got a mobile app for Android and Apple devices. Download the app. You can run your business from the palm of your hand. Like I said, this is a data-driven website. If you've never played around on the internet before, guess what? You're going to have to learn that very quickly if you want to operate in this business. You laugh, there's gogos here that don't know what's going on a mobile phone. Okay? Download the app. We try and make your life as easy as possible. Guys, I thank you for your time. I'm done. If you have any questions, come speak to me afterwards. Have a wonderful holiday tomorrow. I'll remind you and everyone in the live stream, we are running 2 intro presentations tomorrow, 10 a.m. and 12:15. I tease my wealth engineers. I say, tomorrow is a holiday for the working class. When you're involved in this business, you're not working class anymore. You are working on holidays, public holidays especially. 2 presentations. That's 2 opportunities to get people here to build your business. So I remind you about those intro presentations tomorrow. Have a wonderful holiday anyway. Thank you, guys.